Hello and welcome to the Dads of Adventure podcast. Today we're going to be talking about all that's coming up with the fall and Halloween for Walt Disney World. There's lots going on. Who knows what's going to be happening with Halloween overall this year, but Disney is going to provide as much entertainment as possible. So we'll get into that in just a moment here. Lots of exciting things coming up here. Some things that aren't going to be happening, but we'll talk about those. But some exciting things that they are doing in the parks as well. Well, park mostly, but some things in other parks as well. So we'll talk about that in just a moment here. First, again, come and join us on our social media channels at Dads of Adventure on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And you can also subscribe to our newsletter and join our membership at dadsofadventure.com. There, the membership is all about being able to share positive Disney and life adventures with other dads just like you. So join and be part of that discussion. We'd love to have you. So check that out if you are a Disney dad who wants to have a positive experience with your family there, not just at Disney but also in life. So there we go. Also, lots of tips and tricks. We're updating those as the parks reopen and new things are here. That's different things to be expecting, different things that to prepare for, so you can have a positive experience. So those will be updated here soon. We'll continue to update those as new procedures and things come out. So that's the membership. And then as you are listening to this, you can also view this in YouTube format and view a bunch of our other videos, life videos and Disney videos, travel videos through the DreamsMagicAdventure YouTube channel. So check that out there. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe first when you're there, and please head over to your favorite podcast app and subscribe there as well. Please rate and review us on either platform. That way we can get more information out to more people. And I would love to hear your comments as well, and that would again help us to get a little bit more out there to other people for those ratings. So appreciate you taking some time to do that. It's easy as the star ratings, or if you can take a moment to write a comment, that would be awesome. So I appreciate your help there. And that about does it for the introduction. So we'll get started here. Again, Dads of Adventure is about having dads that want to have positive life and Disney adventures with their families. We try to talk about the positive side of things. We're going to talk about some things that will not be happening this year for Disney as far as Halloween and fall goes, but we're definitely going to touch on some positive things, especially at Walt Disney World. Some exciting things have been announced. Most of this information will be coming from the post for a couple posts from Disney Parks blogs, mainly their fall posts, and then they also have a fall foodie guide for Disney. So that is those are the main sources of that information, just to confirm. All right, so what we're going to start with first is just the things that we're already seeing as far as things in the parks, and then we'll get to some of the announcements that have been made on Disney Park blogs about things and how we feel about them. So to start with, though, things like the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, those won't be happening. All of those are canceled. I do like this shirt though, so I probably will still wear it. And we'll get to that in a moment, but I do appreciate the sleeve here with the Headless Horseman, because he's a big part of that. And things like the Halloween on the High Seas, that will not be happening as well, but there's some things that are going to be happening in its place, and those are the things that we're excited about. Um, and again, we don't know exactly what Halloween's going to look like this year, but we do know that Disney has some fun things in store for those that want to celebrate fall and Halloween in general. So they already have a great bit of merchandise. So we'll start there out, ahead of everything else that's coming out. So there's several Spirit jerseys. There's one for like Hades. There's a general like Walt Disney World with theme like candy and stuff like that in the name. Someone that had the word "boo" on the back, and it was Walt Disney World one. So I hadn't seen that one specifically in the shops. I've been in a couple shops since they released all that merchandise, but in a couple parks, but haven't seen that one. So I don't know if that one is maybe at Disney Springs or maybe is a specialty one. I don't know, but those are some of the Spirit jerseys. There's other ones too. We're not going to name everything because there's just tons of stuff out there, but just give you some highlights on some things that are there. And there will be probably some videos as we continue to experience more of these things on the merchandise side, on the food side, and as we go. So they have the Halloween and Haunted Mansion Crocs. So those are pretty cool. They've got those in the different shops around the parks, and I think those are going to be very popular items because they haven't really like come out with things themed in that area. We used to do, or we still probably do. We just haven't done one because there hasn't been one recently. But Run Disney used to have a partnership with New Balance, and they had like some um, Haunted Mansion shoes, like running shoes, and those were pretty cool. Missed out on those. That partnership is gone. But there's a number of things that, but this is something that's kind of reintroducing some footwear that has been missing. I mean, there's been other Disney shoes, of course, but some more themed shoes, I think, will be good. So that is the Crocs, and then they had a number of pins. There was specifically like a Pluto pin where he's like, has like a skeleton on, and some candy on it. I like that one. I like Pluto. One of my favorite things is a Pluto. There's a Pluto Christmas special called Pluto's Christmas Tree, available on Disney Plus. So Pluto in all holiday situations and in normal situations, those appeal to me. So that was a neat little pin. They had a lot of Hades themed stuff, which I don't think they've really had in the past. So that's there. Of course, Nightmare Before Christmas. There's lots of merchandise around that. So that's already there and available. There seemed to be even like I saw some masks themed to that. I don't know if I saw that in the shops, but I'm gonna guess those will be fairly popular for Sally, and I have to see what some of the other stuff is, but that's all there, and yeah, I think there's just a number of other things. There's like candy bags, which I don't know, how that's going to work this year, but there's candy bags. There's just a number of themed items, and you can all check that out. And we'll have you'll probably see that in some of our videos again on the Dreams Magic Adventure channel. So check that out. Let's talk about some of the announcements on what they're going to do in the parks. So they've noted that this is going to be September 15th through the 31st. Sometimes, they might start a little earlier on some of the items, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But, first of all is the Magic Kingdom. Is normally decorated with the lighted, Mickey pumpkins. I'm curious how that will be for park hours because, a lot of the stuff is a little bit better lit up at night. As we head into the season, it'll get darker a little bit quicker. So, there will be some darkness even with, more limited hours. But I'm curious to see how that works out as far as the lighted stuff, if that will be as prominent as it normally is. But I love the Mickey pumpkins in the day too, along all of the lampposts in Magic Kingdom on Main Street. So that should be coming soon. It's possible they maybe have already started that or starting that soon. It's a big undertaking that they normally do pretty quickly. So it might be already underway. We went to a different park this past weekend, so we'll see. We'll be in the Magic Kingdom next week, so we'll be able to confirm if there is activity of that already before the 15th. So that is normal decor. They have announced that right now in the parks they're doing these cavalcades that are basically like one parade float or a couple parade floats and maybe like someone on a horse or someone in a vehicle that are coming, just kind of coming through random times. They're not telling anybody the times because they don't want people to gather. They did recently put down, I thought they were, just trying to use up the masking tape they had, because normally they're, using masking tape to line everything up for parades and whatnot, and they haven't had things to do. So there were a bunch of masking tape X's on Main Street, a week or so ago, I guess last week. And then shortly after that, I saw a picture posted of where they put down actual dots. So right now they're managing crowds by saying this is your dot, this is, and they've measured it to be 6 feet away, so your party would sit or stand on that dot. So they have kind of measured that out. And it's funny because for the cavalcades and stuff like that, one of the things is you don't really have to wait for those things. Like, they're just coming throughout the day and you can enjoy them as you're enjoying the park, which I love. I love that you don't have to dedicate a good part of your day to see, to get a good view from the parade, and you're seeing them from all different directions because they're, running fairly frequently. But as soon as they put the dots down, people were sitting on them. Not necessarily for the parade, but folks were just, hanging out there. So it goes to show, if you put something down that says where you're supposed to stand, people are probably going to stand there. Just like if you put in a line, people will line up and thinking that, there's something going on, and hopefully there is. So it's funny how human nature is. And I'm not away from that, but just so so you don't get frustrated. You do not have, you can be in other places. You don't have to be necessarily on those dots, but it is, kind of separating that out to give people awareness of, what 6 feet apart is. So, and, so for the cavalcades, they've announced that there's going to be Mickey, Minnie, Pluto, and Pals. So we don't know who the Pals are. So we'll see what that looks like. They mention a cavalcade, but I'm not sure if that will be divided into multiple ones or if they're add different ones throughout. I mean, they've got a lot of floats already from the Boo-to-You parades. That's normally part of the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. So we'll see if that gets expanded to, just the normal cavalcades and putting those together. So we'll see. But I think that's cool. that they're adapting that. Curious what they'll do like for Christmas and things like that, but we won't get too far ahead of ourselves for that. But I'm excited. So um, the for that also they've announced, mentioned, not so a very obvious hint that you might find Chip and Dale in Frontierland in their costumes. So I'm guessing that's probably going to be like right now the Country Bears over like there's a little balcony over like the Country Bears slash Pecos Bills slash the shop that's around there in Frontierland. So they come out and just um, every so often. So I'm going to guess that Chip and Dale are going to be up in that balcony or somewhere near there, just in a place where people can't get to them to line up for pictures, but a place where you can see them, and you can normally take a decent picture by like angling yourself out. So that's probably going to be the new trend, is how to angle yourself out to get the picture with characters as they're in more places that you can't necessarily get to. The other big announcement that I was curious about, and we'll see what this looks like, and we'll see if they adjust it as we go, because could see this getting a little out of hand, but we'll see. But maybe not. So yeah, things. But they have announced that through September 15th through the 31st, through October 31st, not September, but you will be able to wear costumes in the Magic Kingdom. So normally you would wear a costume to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, and that's the only time you could wear costumes. You couldn't wear them, in a normal day in the park. People would, wear things that were like homages or Disney bounding, as they call it, that are like representations of characters. But adults, anybody over 14 could not wear a full-on, costume of like a princess or something like that. That's just general park rules for a long time. And you couldn't wear masks unless you were over under 14, and and by that character masks. So they did state in that you can't wear character masks, but they stated that you need to have your face covering as part of that, just in general as well. So I'm curious to see lots of if Disney has a couple things already, but if Etsy shops are going to get a good big boom from like Disney Disney face masks that are help them be part of your costume. So we'll see. That's an interesting component of it, I think, because again, you weren't able to wear like face masks, character masks before. So now that you have to wear a facial covering, which you still need to still needs to comply with all of Disney's requirements, which you can find on their website because those are changing, and I'm not going to state them here. But I think that'll be interesting to see what comes out of that. I think it'll be fun. I think overall it'll be fun. Hopefully people don't take that in a bad direction where it gets to be too much, too much there. But I think it'll be fun. So we'll see. I'm interested to see everybody's costumes and what they come up with. And I'm curious to see how many people will be wearing costumes throughout the day, because normally it's at night, where might get a little cooler during those times. So we'll see. Might see people coming in costumes in the morning, but by might be what we would call a limited costume without all the accompaniments. Later in the day, we'll see. Uh, so I think that was the biggest announcement. Like that's, again, never, you're not, you couldn't wear costumes at all, during a normal Magic Kingdom park day. So that's an element of both the parade, because there's not, parade floats that are, Halloween themed in, normal park operating hours. So it's cool that they're bringing, elements of, well, that would what what the cavalcade isn't necessarily an element of the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, but the parade is. So it's cool that they'll be doing that. I'll be curious to see. Right now, just recently they announced virtual fireworks in the resort rooms, so you could watch the fireworks in your resort room, which is it's cool that they're doing that because there's while it's not quite the same experience, it is part an experience. I like watching, um, for like different occasions. I'll enjoy watching whatever fireworks Disney has put together because they're normally pretty cool. So what I'll be curious about is if they'll have an option on this virtual fireworks, if they'll be having like fire, if they'll during this time, if they'll have some fireworks that are themed um, similar to the Halloween party. So we'll see. Um, Again, I think as they're thinking about things, they're like, oh yeah, we could do this. Let's do this. So I really um, applaud Disney in that way for just as things are available to do. It seems like they're trying to do them to um, to make that magical experience happen. Where some of the magic is there. And again, I think I like parades myself. I definitely like the Halloween parade. Um, Mickey's Not So Scary, but um, I like this cavalcade thing too. So I think it helps to again not have to dedicate a certain amount of time at the park to that experience. You can just go about your day, and as they come, they're there, and so we'll see how that works out. Of course, I think I'm going to be going to Frontierland to see Chip and Dale in their costumes because I love Chip and Dale, but that is the main things. I'm sure we'll come up with some more. We'll get more pictures of these as we see them in action over the next couple weeks. Those should get started. So that's coming up. So be tuned to the Dreams Magic Adventure channel as we add more information about those. And now we get to the most exciting part, food. Because a lot of there's treats and things like that are available in the parks during like the fall season. But for Disney World, it's often a lot of the treats are often limited to the Halloween party because they're like special treats for the Halloween party, which is cool because there's special treats for the Halloween party. But a lot of those things, and it looked like they're really stepping up their game with lots of things, more things than we can probably try. So we'll get as many pictures as we can, and those will probably be in our videos in the upcoming weeks here. But it'd be cool to be able to get some of those treats throughout. So there's a long list of treats, and again, we're getting this information from the Disney Parks blog. So there's a post that's just about fall, and there's a post that's about foodies guide to fall treats. So check that out. I will mention that already there are some signs of fall. Like even like weeks ago, the Joffrey's that was in Epcot that's near World Showcase. World Showplace. it is in World Showcase, but it's near World Show Place. Had some pumpkin spice flavors, and Starbucks has already released their pumpkin flavors just recently, so that those are out there too. If you like your Disney Park Starbucks, which I know a lot of people do, and there's a lot of things that um, are out there too. So we'll go through. This may sound like the whole list, but these are highlights because there's a lot to the list. But I picked out some things that I think kind of gives a sampling of it, and some of my favorites too. So we'll go through those. So these, you don't have to wait as long for these, because those originally it was announced like these things will be available from September 15th through the 31st, like the cavalcades and the the other items, and the decor and all that stuff. But then separately on the foodie blog, it was noted that the food will be available starting September 8th. So I think there's going to be some really popular items. We'll try to save some of those for last year. But here we go. All right. Excuse me. Okay, so some of the interesting items. There's like going to be like Hades nachos, which is kind of like buffalo hot sauce with jalapenos. So those will be available at Pecos Bill's. And there's pumpkin spiced waffle sundaes, which I think are going to be available at Sleepy Hollow. I don't have a place where all of these are going to be available, but you can find all the information on the foodie blog there, Disney Parks blog, and there are going to be one of the things I'm excited about is there's going to be cinnamon donuts, and they're going to be in little boxes that have for the hitchhiking ghosts. So it'll be look like a little tray, like in the back, with some cinnamon donut holes. I'm not sure exactly where that's going to be. I'm going to guess it's probably normally stuff like that is available at Sleepy Hollow, but I'm not sure if that's the case, because sometimes it can be spread out through the park. So we'll see where that shows up. Might be at like Storybook Treats, possibly. This is probably at Storybook Treats too, but there's going to be a pumpkin spiced milkshake with a caramel drizzle, with a Mickey Halloween themed marshmallow straw. So I love those things. Visually, those marshmallow straws are pretty cool. Just the fact that they've designed them that way. So those are. I'm a fan of the marshmallow straw drink, and there's going to be more available now. And that sounds pretty decadent. The pumpkin spice and with caramel drizzle milkshake. I believe there's also going to be just like plain milkshake there, pumpkin spice things. There's one of the other thing. Oh, there's going to be this was an interesting one, I thought, and it sounded really good. I don't know if it looked good, from a standpoint of looking at it, but there's the Poor Unfortunate Souls Sunday, I believe. But it's cream cheese ice cream, which I'm a fan of cream cheese ice cream. If you're a fan of Jenny's ice cream, a lot of the bases for that is a cream cheese base. So I'm a big fan of cream cheese ice cream, and it has a raspberry. I forget, it was like a drizzle or syrup or something like that with it. So I think that's going to be that's going to taste spectacular. I wasn't sure about the look of it, but I think it has Coca-Cola either slush or just soda with it. So it's going to look interesting, but but it sounds amazing. Um, I think like raspberry Coke with like cream cheese ice cream in it. I mean, that's ice cream. Anytime there's an ice cream float involved, I think that's a good situation. But they're just adding to that. I'm not sure if these will be much different than like a normal churro, but they'll have orange and black sugar churros. So they'll be Halloween themed. It would be really cool if they were pumpkin spice, but I think these are just regular churros available at the different churro stands, and I believe Pecos Bills as well. There's going to be a poison apple cupcake. There's a headless horseman special treat. That's kind of like a float. I think it was like strawberry Fanta. And I forget what the ice cream base was, but that should be interesting. Again, I like that they put this on the sleeve, this extra step. But the headless horseman normally, heads down the street at Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party to start off the parade. So that'll be cool to have something representing him. There's getting into like a little off topic here, but getting into like specials and things like that for Halloween. There's the Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad, and just a number of other things as well. But that one is one geared towards that, of course. And then there's a little it's the Constance for Better or Worse cake. You theme towards Constance from the haunted mansion, and it is a like small tiered wedding cake with a hatchet on top. So that looks pretty nice visually. And then there's a pumpkin spiced waffle sundae. They've represented it. I'm not sure if it'll remain this because Sleepy Hollow normally has like themed waffles and things like that for the fall. So I can't remember if it's going to be there. I assume it's going to be there because that's where normally the waffle type things are. But it had Mickey waffles in it. So not sure if those are going to be Mickey waffles for this treat, but pumpkin spice. It's pumpkin spice waffle. Well, they said it's a pumpkin spice thing, so I'm not sure if it's pumpkin spice waffles. I'm assuming it's a pumpkin spice waffle because they've done those before, but don't quote me on that. And then the other things, I think we've covered a good portion. Oh yeah, at there's a Jack Skellington sipper. There's all sorts of different things related to Nightmare Before Christmas. I won't go through all of them, but there's a number of things available there that are themed towards that. But the Jack Skellington sipper, I think, is interesting because he's very long and skinny, so it's a very tall sipper, and you're drinking out of his head. So I'm not sure if that's something that I will get, but if you love that, more power to you. So it is interesting for sure. But I think the thing that I am pretty excited about, we're definitely a popcorn bucket family, and they've been coming out with a lot of I think they've got their thing figured out here where they have like a Mickey base with kind of like balloon type ears, and then they've used that same form for a number of different. They had like mini ones. They had Steamboat Willie. So there's a number of things, but I think one of their best uses of it that they have now, or that they will have once this food comes out, is they're going to have and if you're a fan of, if you're a fan of Living with the Land Pavilion, and these may be available other places too besides the Magic Kingdom, since they're popcorn buckets. But they're going to be like pumpkin shape, a pumpkin Mickey with that shape. So that's going to be really cool. There's like little vines on it and everything. I think, although, one thing to not get your hopes up about is that those do not hold as much popcorn as a normal bucket. But they are pretty cool. So I'm pretty sure that's going to be something that's, a highlight, or a item that we'll probably get when we're in the parks. But it's cool that they're doing that regardless of whether we get it or not. But I'm pretty sure that's probably going to be one that gets added to our collection. Because I've always been a fan of the Mickey shaped pumpkins and the land pavilion. So this adds the popcorn theme, the popcorn buckets, and that of always being like, I should make some Mickey shaped pumpkins, and then I never figure out how to do it, which I don't know if that's necessary. It's to grow Mickey shaped pumpkins in your own garden, but it's cool if you figured it out. Let me know, please. Leave some comments and let me know how you did it, because that's something that I've always loved about going on Living with the Land, just for that that aspect of it. So I think that covers some of the things that I was highlighting. There's a lot more. There's several other things available there. It'd be interesting. So that's Disney World. I'm not sure on the Disneyland side what's if there's going to be. It depends on if they open, I think. So it will depend on if they have some of their treats available. Normally they have awesome treats as well. No announcements on any of that, because I think they're still trying to figure out how they open. They did announce some merchandise and things like that for the international parks, including like Shanghai Disney. So that looked neat as well, and they showed some pins from like Disneyland Paris. So we'll see what that looks like. But for Magic Kingdom, I think that's I'm really excited about all these treats. Again, probably won't have a chance to try them all, but the fact that they're there and not you don't have to go to a party to get them is great, because so that's next year if they go back to having them at the party, that's fine, that's their thing. But it's cool that for this year we get a chance to do that. So some positive things that are there, that are changes, that they're again trying to increase the magic of that season with those things. And it'd be interesting to see. There hasn't been really much announced for like other parks. Typically other parks aren't decorated for the fall as much, but Food and Wine is ongoing. And I saw some announcements. If you're a fan of Be Our Chef, Chef Daniel, that's on there, just recently posted that another if you've gone to Food and Wine recently, there's there's lots of good food that's there already, but some of the booths are not open yet. So he announced that the Alps booth is officially open now on Instagram, and we'll see what other things are available there. So some more fall type stuff, or what Food and Wine is just in general in the fall. So we'll see what happens in the other parks, but I'm excited. Again, Mickey popcorn buckets, Halloween cavalcades, lots of merchandise more than you could ever need. The Haunted Mansion Crocs and Halloween Crocs are pretty cool. So we'll see what happens with those. And then, I think I'm going to have to try some of these items. So you'll probably see that again on, I'm sure we'll try lots of items. So no doubt about that. But stay tuned to the Dreams Magic Adventure YouTube channel and see some updates on what some of this stuff looks like as we get to see it, and those will be interesting. Again, it'll be interesting to see if they announce other things as they go. That's kind of been the theme, is here's what's going on now, and as they can, introducing other things. So there may not, so we don't want to get our expectations up there. One thing that I will say, as far as like some of the tips and tricks that we try to give out, some of these things will probably be in limited supply. So if you're coming into the parks or planning a trip, right when some of these things are opening, especially like right at September 8th, like they may have like a shortage of those Mickey popcorn buckets. It seems like when things start, they're not going to have they have some supply issues throughout the parks on that. Like you can find them someplace, but not another place, as they figure out where people are going to get them more frequently and getting more supply in. Two things I forgot to mention. In the merchandise side of things, there was like lighted items, and those, some of the ones that were like fall themed and Halloween themed, were already discounted. I don't know if they'll be discounted forever, but they were discounted at the time that I was there. So last week, we were at Magic Kingdom. I can vouch for that, but I can't vouch for the rest of the time. But it was interesting that they had the lighted items on discount before that all that stuff got started. So we'll see. Maybe they had a lot of them. But like necklaces, the lighted necklaces and things like that themed Halloween. So we'll see where that goes. And I almost forgot one of the probably premier and probably most limited, and maybe you won't be able to find it, items. So I did want to mention this because some of the treats may not be available if they run out of those. So I want, you want to set your expectations that that is a possibility. That way you won't be disappointed when you get there. But with so many things going on, so many different treats, think about your backup of what you may want after that, so that you're not disappointed if it's the thing you want is not available. So going with that, they also have some popcorn buckets that are just general Halloween theme. There's Oogie Boogie one, which that's there. So there's lots of other things, and one of the things that's probably going to be most popular and most likely to be sold out as quickly as possible, and I'm not sure like what quantities they're going to get of these, but there is a Madame Leota thing that's going to be coming out that I believe is a sipper. I don't think it's a popcorn bucket. It's a sipper, I believe. So I'm pretty sure those are going to be pretty popular. I'm pretty sure, at least at the beginning, those are going to be snatched up pretty quickly. But it's like a Madame Leota crystal ball from the Haunted Mansion, and that is going to be pretty popular, I'm pretty sure. They just recently released a Funko Pop of like the person playing the organ in the Haunted Mansion, and that was very popular. So I can imagine that the Madame Leota sipper will be quite popular in the parks. So we'll see how quickly those go, and that about wraps up everything so far. Again, there's a lot more out there, so check out that that fall foodie blog. There might be some other stuff at Disney Springs. They didn't mention that I didn't see anything for that. But yeah, I'm sure you can find, again, your fall Starbucks drinks and things like that. And Joffrey's will have some things like that. So yeah, great stuff being announced. So I'm excited. We'll look forward to it. Get more information. Maybe another podcast or so on that as we get more information on it and get a chance to actually see some of these things. But for now, we'll go ahead and wrap things up, and the way that we always do. So, again, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. That's will definitely be posting some of those things as they we get more information on them and get to try them. And you can also, I'm sure there'll be some video on our Dreams Magic Adventure YouTube channel, and there may be a podcast on that on your favorite podcast app. So you have to check that out and subscribe so you don't miss out on that if that is something that pops up. And just subscribe in general. We'd love to have you be a part. That way you can get all the episodes as they come out. And again, go to dadsofadventure.com to be able to sign up for the membership and talk to other positive Disney dads like you. That we'd love to have you. Love to have you be part of the discussion. Again, it's not just about the theme is that we speak all speak the language of Disney. We can have some common experiences around Disney parks and other Disney things that we share with our families. But it's about being positive about those things, and it's also about life experiences. So that again, Disney is the piece that's holding it together, speaking the language of Disney. And enjoying those aspects of the parks or Disney history or Disney movies, whatever that happens to be. Those are things that we can talk about and then have conversations about life based on those things too. So that's my goal. And then tips and tricks as well on just having a positive experience and planning for things that may pop up, that when you plan for them, you can be prepared and not have them trip you up in terms of having a negative experience, so that you have a positive experience when you're in the parks. And nobody's perfect. I'm growing with you, just to restate that if I haven't restated it recently. But these are things, self-improvement for myself too. So I'm growing there right along with everybody as come up with these things. But it's things that I've seen that I hope will be helpful to others as well. So that's all for now, and go ahead and wrap things up and say, go have an adventure with your family.